Ah yes, the video you've been waiting for. Why does Rouge have breasts? Oh, Rougella. It's the Japanese name of Jynx. We're talking about Jynx today, and for once it's a video all about Jynx that isn't about it being a supposed racist stereotype. In fact, I'm not even going to mention it. Not bring it up whatsoever. That way we have a nice and decent comment section. Now, today we're talking about much more serious matters in regards to this original Pokemon. Answering a very, very, very serious question. What's with the boobs? What? Like, no Pokemon have breasts, because, like, almost no animals have breasts, besides Rhino Kaijus, I guess, and Jynx. So, Jynx? What is Jynx? What are they? What are those? Is your Metapod lost in tall grass? Your pair of Pharaoh Seed too thorny? Having trouble finding your Diglets in the bush? Then maybe today's sponsor can help out. This video is brought to you by Manscaped and their new Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts. It's the ultimate body hair trimmer to get that silky smooth look. Like Sfeels or Machamp. And with their all-in-one performance package kit, you can really overhaul yourself with the Weed Whacker nose hair trimmer and Crop Preserver ball toner spray. Any gentleman will be thinking of his nails too, and Manscaped has the very best luxury shears for those. And for a limited time, you can get all of this plus 2 free gifts. So head on over to manscaped.com today and get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Lockstin20. It's the ultimate manly gift, or you could just treat yourself. Really shear those sheeps. You deserve it. And this really is the perfect video for this promo, ain't it? Jynx is... oh boy. A lot of things, really. The easiest answer to today's question, why does Jynx have breasts, is probably because her primary inspiration is the Yama-Uba, who lives among icy mountains, hence the ice type. The Yama-Uba is a woman yokai with many depictions, but most of them feature a red, tattered kimono and very light hair. Though, this tends to be the depiction of her much later on. Earlier, while she was young, her hair was very dark, but she also raised a small pink child with a big head of hair, which is perfectly fitting of Smoochum, Jynx's pre-evolution. But notably, in many of her depictions, she is said to seduce passersby by seductively dancing, which is quite literally what Jynx's original Pokedex entry mentions. Quote, "It seductively wiggles its hips as it walks." It all just fits so well. But what's with the dark skin then? Well, more recently, No Theater Productions would sometimes give the actor playing as the Yama-Uba a much darker mask when she was in her more monstrous phase. Oh yeah, she became a murderous cannibal eventually. Lovely. But before that turn of events, breasts were a fundamental part of the Yama-Uba. You see, when she was much younger, if she happened upon a missing child, she would literally nurse them back to health. It is also said that there are splotches on her body, and she has her breasts attached to her shoulders as if there was a Tasuki cord, which is to say, her posture was very good, and they were full and perky, like Jynx. And so, if any yokai-based Pokemon is going to have breasts, it's going to be the one where the breasts play a big part in said yokai. The other yokai women-based Pokemon, like Mawile and Frostlass, are feminine because of their origins being fully female, but have nothing resembling breasts in their design because why would they? Their inspirational sources are women, but otherwise their stories and actions have nothing to do with breasts specifically. Unlike Jynx. In fact, there may be more to Jynx's design than just the Yama-Uba, and it too may specifically reference breasts, especially in this specific shape. So here are some more Pokedex entries. It speaks a language similar to that of humans, however, it seems to use dancing to communicate. It has several different cry patterns, each of which seems to have its own meaning. Its cries sound like human speech, however, it is impossible to tell what it is trying to say. there are some musicians who compose songs for Jynx to sing. So let's throw all of those dex entries on top of the Yama-uba, a popular character in Japanese theater, and we may start seeing some references to Western theater, maybe even Western opera. I mean, look at the shape of Jynx, and the boob plate armor, and her sprite in Pokemon Emerald animates and shows her singing a high-note opera style. She's quite reminiscent of the trope turned saying, "It's over when the fat lady sings," as large blonde women would often have such outfits on during opera performances. Well, I say often, really it was just one. A depiction of the Valkyrie Brunhild, which then became extremely iconic and became a symbol of opera as a whole. So, slap that onto Jynx's origins, and now you've got two good reasons for those. But speaking of a Valkyrie, some say Jynx could be inspired by Hel from Norse mythology, who had a half-black face. She ruled over Niflheim. A cold world of mist and icy mists play a big role in Jynx's moveset and such. So maybe. Clothes on a Pokemon is still really weird though, and I don't like it. But whatever. We can pretend it's mysterious yokai frills or something. Even though we do see her feet at one point, meaning they are up in there. Well, just to cover my bases, the other potential sources of inspiration for Jynx are retro Japanese fashion trends, like Ganguro girls. Though, while the trend was starting and wasn't very big, that was when Pokemon was first being developed. It didn't really become well known until around the year 2000, which would have been too late to really inspire Jynx. Unless the design team were like really up and up on all the trends the youngins were doing. But I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I said I wasn't going to talk about it. But come on. In the anime, Jynx was literally Santa's helpers. It's so hard to argue that Black Peter wasn't at all considered in her design. At the very least, maybe it wasn't considered in her design, but the anime team made that connection. Oh, she looks kind of like Black Peter. Let's have her be Santa's helper. If you don't know, Black Pete is a classic blackface assistant to Santa Claus in a few parts of Europe, mainly the Netherlands. And I don't think it's fair to assume that a 1990s Japanese animation studio should know everything about Western history and culture. So I highly doubt they meant offense by this, but it is what it is. Controversy struck, so they made her skin purple, and have rarely used Jynx since. But anyway, those last bits don't really say boobs, so they don't really apply to our very important discussion today. But you can't really talk about Jynx without bringing it up. So, the fat lady with boob plate armor sings, and sings about the way she sways her hips and nurses several lost children to health, because she's also the Yama-uba. Thus, the reason why Jynx has breasts. How disturbing. Here's a question for you. Do you like Jynx? Honestly, I don't. But do you? Maybe there are people who like Jynx. I don't know. But until next time, you never stop using your noggin. And now I gotta clear my search history again.